What is the two-story view of truth?
Yeah, so, and you mentioned Francis Schaeffer, because he's the one who first sort of popularized this among evangelicals. And he was concerned about it because of the role it plays in evangelism and apologetics. It used to be the nutshell. Here's the nutshell description. Most cultures believe there's a natural order and a moral spiritual order, and they think that they are integrated into one cosmic order, right? One cosmic whole, and therefore truth about the cosmos will also be a single, integrated, internally coherent whole. But after the scientific revolution, many people in the West began to say, no, the only reliable form of knowledge we have is science, empirically testable facts. What happens then to moral and spiritual truths? Well, many people decided they didn't qualify as truths. They were merely personal preference, personal feelings. And so Schaeffer used the metaphor, and actually many philosophers use this metaphor. It's just that we learned it from Schaeffer first. He used the metaphor of two stories in a building, so he made this little diagram. And he said in the lower stories where you put science and facts or rationality, and these are truths that are universal. These are public truths. These are the truths that are supposed to run our public life. And then the upper story becomes the place where people throw morality, spirituality, purpose, meaning, beauty. And these have been reduced to merely personal preference. And so in secular academia, the shorthand way of talking about this is the fact-value split, with facts in the lower story and personal values in the upper story. And what's fascinating is, of course, these aren't just ideas. They get, fleshed out, incarnated in our society. So after the Industrial Revolution, they developed a very large public realm, right? So factories, businesses, financial institutions, universities, the state. And people began to argue, well, the public square should operate by scientific principles. And again, what they meant was value free. Values don't belong in the public arena. And that's what we hear today, right? Don't bring your private values into the public realm. So
right.
This is when that started. And so, if values are kicked out of the public realm, where would they be cultivated? In the private realm. And who presides in the private realm still, at that time was women. So it's fascinating the way these kind of dualisms permeated society. Not only was it a view of truth, a split view of truth, facts versus values, but then it became incorporated into public versus private, and even into men versus women, because men were working in that secular sphere, getting that secular education. They were becoming secular earlier than women did. And so in a sense, in the 19th century, for the first time ever, you see women held up as the moral guardians of society. So it's the fact value split ends up explaining a lot of our history and even the structure of our society. So I'm glad you asked about that, because it's so significant. And I try to get all Christians in my classes. I try to get them, you can't leave this classroom until you really understand that fact value split.